Hello guys, welcome to the mid-year freakout tag. Let's begin. The first question is best book that you have read so far. And the best book that I have read so far this year is definitely House of Hollow. I did a whole review about that book. I still love it. I have recommended it to a lot of people and I do hope that they read it. If you want to see that video, just click in the card if I remember to leave it, because I always forget, and watch the review. That book is completely awesome. The plot, everything, the intrigue, the characters are so well done, and the twist at the end, you can see it coming, but the way that it's described and the way that you're supposed to find out, or the main character is supposed to find out, is so disturbing. And the second question is best sequel that you have read so far. For me, it's going to be The Viscount Who Loved Me. Now, listen, this is not the best book that I have ever read or the best sequel that I have ever read, but this year it is. First, I haven't read that many sequels because I haven't read that many series or trilogies or dualities or anything like that. And the ones that I read, they're really good, but I wanted to mention this book for the simple reason that the second book, which is this one, is way better than the first one in the series, which is The Duke and I. The Bridgerton series, this is the best book in the whole series. And I know the complicated relationship with me and enemies to lovers or toxic men, I do not care. I do not care. I love this book. I'm not ashamed of it, or I am sometimes, but I'm not. I love this type of books, and it is very difficult to find in a series that the second book or the third book is better than the first one, because almost always is the other way around. So I wanted just to mention this book as the best sequel that I have read so far, because it is better than the first book. Next question is going to be new release that you haven't read yet but you want to. For this one, I have two books. The first one is going to be A Far Wilder Magic, and I have them. I'm getting ready to read them, and I love the covers of the book. I'm so excited about reading this story. I haven't read the synopsis. I haven't read anything about the book except for it has magic and it has a love story. That's everything that I care about it. And also Violet Made of Thorn, I think that's the name. I want to read that book so much. The story seems to be so beautiful, and it looks like a villain's story. It has so many beautiful vibes. I don't know how to explain it, but sometimes I do feel drawn to a book, and this is one of those times. Okay, next question. Most anticipated release for the other half of the year, or the second half of the year. For this one, I have a very specific book, and it is Chain of Thorns by Cassandra Clare. And I was introduced last month to Chain of Gold and Chain of Iron, and I need the third book. I need it now, and I already pre-ordered it and I need it like right away, but I'm waiting for it. The next one is Biggest Disappointment, and for this one my answer is clear. I don't know if you know, but it's not a surprise to you all. The Love in the Time of Cholera. I hate that book so much. I was so excited when I had to read it. I wanted that book to be everything that people say it is, but it's not. So yeah, it is a very big disappointment. I will never again read that book. I read it in Spanish, which made it so much harder to hate it because it's my native language, and I wanted to love it. And also Dangerous Alliances or Dangerous Alliance, I don't remember the exact name. That book was so boring. I was so excited to read it. It was supposed to be all about the main character wanting to be like the heroines from the Jane Austen novels. Girl, I'm a big fan of Jane Austen, but this book was so terrible that not even the mention of Jane Austen novels or Jane Austen herself in every single chapter could save that book. It was boring. I hated it. I didn't like the main character, and it wasn't like, oh, I didn't like the main character because she was bad. No, she was just plain boring and basic, and if she was a person, I would go and tell her, you're awful because you have absolutely nothing to offer. Next, your biggest surprise. For this one I have two, and the first one is The Beautiful Ones. I didn't think that I was going to like The Beautiful Ones. It was a very complicated story or history for the book, and I saw it on the library. I got it, but I didn't actually plan to, like, I wanted to read it, but I knew deep down that I wasn't going to. At the end I started to read it, and as I was getting into the story, I started to really like it. It was kind of like a big drama. I was watching like a reality show mixed with a telenovela, and also mixed with Regency, or I don't know, like Jane Austen-esque. It was a beautiful thing, and I do not regret reading it. The second one was, or is, The Cruel Prince. I thought that I was going to hate that book. I don't like to do so, but I ended up reading the reviews that the book had, and people were like, the book is toxic, I don't like it, blah 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 blah. And I think that I read that book mostly to rant about it and end up giving it like a very bad review. Again, I didn't give the book a, I think I give the book like 2.5 or something like that, but it kept me interested. I love the story, I love the twist, I love the flawed main character. Yude is a very special character. She knows that she's not the good guy, and she's okay with it. She even wants to be worse to keep herself safe. So I really like that. Sometimes I get tired of really innocent good girls or main characters who let anything happen to them because they're good people. I get tired of that. It's kind of boring. I do love that character sometimes in some books, but not all of them, and it was really refreshing. Next, favorite new author, either new to you or new release. For me, I'm going to say Cassandra Clare. I started to read her books and I love them. I'm thinking about getting into all of her series, and I'm talking about The Infernal Devices or The Mortal Instruments, City of Shadows. I don't remember the names, but I'm thinking about getting into them. But I do know that if I get into them, it's going to be a while. So I'm deciding, I don't know yet. And talking about The Cruel Prince, this question has something to do with it. Newest fictional crush. I am so in love with Cardan. I do not care if you think that I'm crazy. I know that I do have issues. I don't know why, but even though he's powerful somehow, he seems weak, and I don't know, I think that I have to see him develop more throughout the other two books. I haven't read the other two books yet. I have them, but I haven't read them yet. I want to do that as soon as possible. So I don't know how I'm going to feel about him after, but I did read the, what's the name? The How the King of Hell Fame learn to tell stories, and I fell in love with his character because I know, but still I know that he's toxic also. So it is a very complicated relationship between me and Cardan, and I'm okay with it. Then there is a new favorite character. For me, I'm going to say Yude. First is the latest, one of the latest books that I have read. So yeah, that's the one that I read last, I think, and I really liked her character. I think that I don't like her, but I do like her. It's so complicated to describe the relationship that I have with her. Like, I can't understand everything she does. I do kind of relate the feeling of wanting to be worse than someone so that someone cannot hurt you back, and I don't know, I just like it. And she's really it's not dramatic, but she kind of doesn't care. She just does whatever she wants, and I like that. But still, I know that she's in the wrong sometimes, but I enjoy how it's just like watching reality shows. You know that some people in reality shows are crazy and they do things that is so stupid, but still you watch it just like because it's funny sometimes. And that's how I feel about you. I think that sums it up. Okay, let's jump to the next question. A book that made you cry this year. So last year I cried a lot with a lot of different books. This year I haven't cried that much with any of the books that I have read. I think the Love Hypothesis, I cried a little bit by the end because I was like so tired of the miscommunication and all of that. But I think that this year the only book that has made me cry is because of how gross and nasty it is, and that is The Love in the Time of Cholera. People are going to hate me so much because I cannot stop mentioning The Love in the Time of Cholera, but I do not care. That book is so gross. Some parts made me cry because I was angry and I was crying and screaming. Even my partner was like looking at me like I was crazy because it looked like I wanted to punch a book many times or throw it to the wall. It was so frustrating. I hated that book and I cried about it because it was so gross. I feel like I wished I had never read that book, and I ended up crying on everything because again it's so gross, so grotesque, so nasty, so pedophilic, so everything. And I think that book sums up everything that is wrong with society, the way that it romanticizes everything wrong. Again, I'm gonna stop. I think that's the answer of my question. I'm never going to change it. Now, a book that made you happy. That book is The Love Hypothesis. Hear me out. I read the book because everyone in TikTok said that it was really good. I didn't believe TikTok because TikTok or Instagram, that kind of places, they tend to hype up a book so much, and at the end it's like, okay, it's whatever. But the truth is that it made me laugh. It's not the best book in the world. No, it is not. I do know that it is a fan fiction. I do not have an issue with that. So many fan fictions are better than actual books. So I'm completely okay with the fact that it is a fan fiction. But it made me laugh so much, the way that they behaved and the way that their relationship progressed. I did have a couple of issues with like things that were described, but not that much. It was a very easy read, and also it made me laugh, but it made me cry too. So it was good. The most beautiful book that you have purchased so far or received. I have so many. I don't know. Okay, so this one was really complicated or really difficult because I have so many books that I love. I am a cover lover, so I do tend to buy books that the cover I really like. That was dumb. So the first one is going to be Daughter of the Moon Goddess, and this one is a Fairy Loot edition. It has very beautiful stencil edges. The cover is so extremely beautiful. The back as well, the spine, and one of the things that I love the most is when the books have beautiful end papers, because I love to see them when I open the book. And this one has extremely, again, beautiful end papers. The other book that I got or bought this year, and I love it completely, is Anne of Green Gables, the Spanish edition, Ana de las Tejas Verdes. And this book is so beautiful also, because not just I am a fall lover, I'm a winter lover, and this has all of those vibes, so much beauty in one place. It has beautiful illustrations like this one, and it's big, it's amazing. I have no words. I basically have no words, because I cannot find anything good to say more, anything more. I mean, look at it, that's it. I do have many more books that I completely love, and that their beauty is incomparable, but still those two are the ones that always come to mind when people ask me, oh, so beautiful books, which one is the best, I guess. Okay, so the next question is going to be, what books do you need to read by the end of this year? So I need to read all of Brandon Sanderson books. I have The Way of Kings, I have the Satanic series, I do have the Mistborn series. I need to read them all. The thing is that when I start reading a series, I need to finish it, because I need to know what happens, and that is one of the reasons that I haven't read those books already, because I know that it's going to take me a really long time to do so. They're big, they're very heavy, they have a lot of words, so I need my time. So I'm planning on it. I just need time to plan what I'm going to read. My brain works that way. And also, like I mentioned, I want to read all of Cassandra Clare books. The last question is going to be, favorite book to movie adaptation you have seen this year. First, The Witcher. I love The Witcher. I read the Last Witch book and I love it. I have nothing more to say or to add. I do know that the series is not the same as the book, but I still love it because it's beautiful. And yeah, I watch The Witcher because of the blood. Yes, the blood. And the second one, and the best one, is Heartstopper. Oh my goodness, Heartstopper is a beautiful show that everyone needs to see. The fact that every single beautiful moment of the webtoon is in that series. I do hope that they really do all of the chapters or all of the books because they're so beautiful. It's so kind of, I blush a little bit because I'm remembering the episodes. I loved that adaptation. I think it's one of the best ones. I do know that it is maybe a show that not everyone will like, but still it is beautiful. And I cried so much, and I watched the episodes over and over again. It is so beautiful and I love it. Oh my goodness, what's happening? If you haven't seen or if you haven't watched Heartstopper, you need to do so quickly. You need to watch it right away because it is so beautiful. It has become a show or webtoon that people can watch and somehow feel seen, and it was such a beautiful thing that the people who decided to make a show out of it really put everything that they had into it, and the characters are the same. Most of them, there is some differences, but most of them they are the same, and they're amazing. And that is everything, guys. I do not know who I'm going to tag. No one tagged me, so it doesn't matter that much. If you want to do a video showing your or doing this mid-year freak out tag, just do it. I do not know who I'm going to tag yet. I'm going to think about it because I have a lot of YouTubers that I love watching and that I would love to see them do the tag. But see you in the next one with more books. Bye bye.